A special group of women, all powerful champions for change, leaders in their community, and mothers, gather together with fellow parent advocates to organize, reflect, and listen, and most of all, to celebrate an exceptional year. Earlier in the year, each of these 5 women, leading Kofi-trained parent advocates and members of the Power Pack Illinois Stepping Out of Poverty campaign, all with incredible accomplishments to date, were named the inaugural fellows of the Closing the Women's Wealth Gap Community Leader Fellowship, focused on amplifying and centering the voices of women of color at national tables.
I was diagnosed with severe pneumonia. Next thing I know, I was in a coma. When I woke up, I was told that I had been in a coma for 3 months. When you think about a spiral, something that continues on and on and on, it's like you feel that you're paying something and something else got to get paid. It could cause emotional stress on families. I didn't have nowhere to go. I didn't have nowhere to turn to. I felt like every dime that I saved up went towards rent, went towards bills, and then of course towards my kids. When you feel like that, it's like you feel like you're being robbed.
I started noticing how the gap was so big, like for low-income families, to break that cycle, where you had to be just working sometimes 2 jobs to just provide enough. Why the systems is not supporting us? It's trying to keep us in their system the same way for generations. Because if I cannot get out of now that I'm telling my kids that this is the right way, and they'll be also, depending on the system, on getting food assistance, medical assistance, because we can never do it by ourselves. They gave me the empowerment that I needed. They gave me the tools to raise my voice when they start showing me, the process, how the system works.
When I talk to a parent and I think about how I was at one point, like this parent who was in denial because after years of being laid down, it's only natural to feel that there's no hope. I use my voice to empower that parent to use her voice, so we can work together to make a change.
I'm a product of the Kofi training. I'm a trainer, and I know the life-changing impact that Kofi trainings have on parents to help us understand that we've always been a leader, but give us tools to identify how we want to operate in that leadership.
I knew I had a voice, but I was just scared to let it be heard. It was in me, I just needed someone to bring it out. When you have people that, believe in you and know that you can do these things and support you and encourage you, that helped a lot. I've witnessed and I've been there when my lights and gas have been cut off, and my baby was little, kind of small at the time. My son was on medication. The refrigerator wasn't on because I couldn't plug it up. I can't be quiet because there's so much going on in the communities that people don't know about. And if I can be that voice for that community to let them know, then that's what I'm going to continue to do.
I was watching in my own neighborhood the different tickets and how they would get tickets. and hearing in other neighborhoods, those are things that don't even go on. I wanted to fight for my neighbors and the whole city of Chicago, the Black and brown community, to get these things off of their back. And it was time for us as parents to be at the table and voice the truth. You can hear from an alderman what's going on, but you take that as a grain of salt. When you hear from me who lives it, it's a whole different ball game. Us parents, we the ones that living through this. I mean, if you're in a room with a whole bunch of politicians, a whole bunch of doctors and bachelor's degrees talking about issues, what are you gonna get? I mean, you could talk about it, but do you actually know about it? Have you actually lived through it every day?
Fines and fees has really been a big barrier for so many people, and especially women, and even further women of color. They're bombarded by ridiculous fines, fees, and other predatory practices that suck not only every dime that they could possibly save, but the money that they already don't have in the first place.
It's something we've been fighting for years, and it's gotten here. And our parents and the city, I wish it was more than 5,000 family. I wish it was the whole city could get this $500 just when they need it. And it's gonna help them come out and thrive.
And if we can get the cash back into families' pockets and homes, that would be great, because that's more we can put towards our bills, our children, the things that they need, things our household needs.
We got together and we start raising our voices and start talking to more families, and it's like we want something to happen. We have to be seen. We have to be heard. And it's like, I know it's a lot of fear, but we need to do something. And that's when things happening. For us, like you say, immigrant families was a huge victory, because for many years we live and experience firsthand that inequity piece.
It's been a very hard road, needing to have that very small investment that's not going to pay for college, but it simply says, we believe in you. All of these policies and issues are not a one and done. There's still so much work to do, and I invite everyone to be a part of that work.
Care is care. It doesn't matter if you're caring for a senior or a child, it's still care. When we go into these homes as caregivers, we're putting our lives on the line to take care of people.
In order to bring changes into systems that don't work for families, it's families that got to be at the table to sit down and talk to you all about the systems that we want to see change.
Who knows our story but us? And who can tell it better than we can? So if we at those tables, letting them know what's going on in our community, then they should listen. And if we can be there, I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna bring other families along with me.
They are absolutely the experts in the field of those very children that they're raising and that they're rearing and that they're trying to create a better future for. Those are the voices that need to ring the loudest.
I'm always one that wants to lift the sister up. It doesn't matter if she's in Chicago, she could be in Alaska. If I can do something to help her, then I'm ready to move. I always say, your little bit in the pot, my little bit in the pot, when we come together, this stew is gonna get us out the situation that we're in.
When you got the courage to speak up for yourself, and not only for yourself, but for all the community that you are representing, for all the community that they're still not ready to raise their voices, but to trust that there can be a change.